Now, we are at the precipice of big changes towards love and inclusivity in major ways. I mean, come on, look at this room. We're here right now, right? The future is fluid. The future is non-binary. The future is radical. But so is the past. We as human beings have always been fluid in some capacity. Our journeys perpetually in motion, ready to bend and shift when necessary. And it is precisely in that space between where the truth resides. Life at its essence is unpredictable, right? Nothing is fixed. The more work that I do on myself in regards to understanding just how complex sex, sexuality, gender identity, and love are, the more I'm able to represent something that lives outside of myself. And it's always a work in progress, right? I'm in this like weird limbo right now, and I'm having a hard time believing that sexuality is even what we have been taught it is, fogged by the inadequate, socially constructed gender binary. Splitting billions of people into two categories, man and woman, was maybe one of the most ridiculous things we've ever done in history. It's like the great dichotomy of the world. Now, I spent so much of my career repressing my own identity. The further I spiraled into Hollywood, addictions, drinking, drugs, celebrity, the more I didn't recognize who I was. It's the true intersection of fame, alcohol, and heteronormativity. I actually felt that like in order to be famous, to be this famous actor, I had to be this white, straight dude, right? The industry was a lot different back then. This is pre-social media. And there was this pressure on heteronormativity, even more so than today. And honestly, Hollywood still does not value queerness unless it's profitable. Hollywood does not value queerness unless somebody else is getting paid for it. And furthermore, the world, even this community, doesn't really value bisexuality, okay? Let's get into that. Biphobia is very, very real. We're taught that we have to be one way or another, and that anything in between just isn't real. That's the binary. Being bisexual is like living in this netherworld where you have 1 foot in the closet, 1 foot out of the closet, and people pulling you in both directions. And what happens to a bisexual person when they're in this seemingly heteronormative relationship? Does that other part of their identity just disappear? And I think it's important to point out my own internalized biphobia over the years. Like my desire for men would somehow disqualify my desire for women. This emphasis on monosexuality. I've always been bisexual. That's the space between, but I hold myself accountable for my own repression. We all have to hold ourselves accountable. There are so many ways in which I was raised to not see all of the injustice going on in the world. To accept all the benefits and privileges of being born in America in 1988 as a white male individual, as if somehow I earned that all by myself. But I was born. We were all born on a ground that depends on the oppression and domination of most of the people on this planet. That's just fact. I spent most of my life not knowing this. Coming to realize that we've been unable to see and feel things that are apparent to others is painful, but it's the strength that we need to harness to set our egos aside so that we can change ourselves and we can change the world. The strength to relate to people, to see and to feel, to step into our lives and reclaim the humanity that we have been forced to exchange for material and cultural privilege without our consent. Now, right now it's 2019 and that fuck is president of the United States. While some of us are still wondering, like, how could this have happened? It makes perfect sense, really. It's the logical conclusion within a moral order that places capital, not truth or justice or people, capital at its center. And the Trump administration has made overt again the white supremacy on which this country was founded, on which this industry was founded. And if you scratch the surface of history just a little, It's easy to see how what we understand as race was invented as a moral justification for the economic model of slavery, the genocide of indigenous people, the theft of an entire continent. I mean, this is the history that built the present. A country of massive economic disparity, environmental devastation, mass incarceration, and the state-sanctioned murder and oppression of black people, people of color, immigrants, queer and trans people, women, and all poor people. All of it is you. Look, I've come to realize more and more how important finding one's spirituality is. I mean, this society, this world has attempted to take even that away from us, to commodify our relationship to that which is larger than us and sell it back to us somehow. But communing with spirits is a way to tap into a history, to feel how both ourselves and the time we live in is a product of everything that came before us. The spirits know that something is deeply fucking wrong here, that the world that we're living in is the wrong one. I was not born in the wrong body. We were all born in the wrong world. But the optimist in me refuses to believe that it's all terrible. The world is as beautiful as it is worrisome right now. We still have everything in God that keeps us alive. We have each other. We have this earth. We have water and fire. We have animals and the sun and moon and plants and medicine and food and all that is good. We have teachers and healers and students and feelings and voices and bodies and tears and laughter and expression and identities. We have puppies and rainbows and friends and family. We have spirit. We have art. We have art. We have the internet. We have miracles and lessons and freedoms and the ability to help those in need. We have each other. We have the Queerty Awards. Come on now. We have hope. We have grace. And we have love. Thank you for this award. I really appreciate it. All that is you.